Okay. Hello, dear students. In today's session, let us discuss about belt drives. So, belt drives are the power transmitting elements. Usually comes under the category of flexible power transmitting elements. So, there are two kinds of power transmitting elements actually. One is flexible, another one is inflexible. So, flexible elements are those where the center distance of the driven and driver pulleys or the shafts they are interchanged, or they are having the flexibility to change or alter the distance. But in case of non-flexible drives, the center distance cannot be altered. Say the example for flexible drives are nothing but the belt drives, uh, chain drives, or rope drives. And in case related to the non-flexible drives, the examples are, yeah, best suited example for that is gear drives. Gear drives comes under the category of non-flexible drives because there the center distance that cannot be altered as they are having the direct contact. The driver and driven are having the direct contact or meshing. But here, in case of flexible drives, the driver and the driven they are having distance separated by a certain distance, and driver and driven they are not directly connected, and these are connected by means of a particular media. So here, the belt drive is one of the media which is our medium which is used to transmit the power from driver to the driven shaft. So belt is used to transmit the motion from one shaft to the another shaft with the help of pulleys, preferably when the central distance is too long. Say up to 10 meters. Up to 10 meters, the belt drives are preferred. Suppose if the center distance between the driver and driven is more than 10 meter, in that case, instead of belt drive, there is another flexible drive that is preferred, which is a rope drive. Right. Suppose if the center distance is also small and the maximum power is to be transmitted, in that case the V belt drives are preferred. So flat belt drives are preferred whenever there is a large center distance, say around 5 meter or 6 meter like that, and a moderate amount of power that is to be transmitted. So these drives are called as non-positive drives as there is a slip in the drive. So what is slip, that we will come to know in the next discussion. So there are three types of flexible drives or belt drives which are commonly used. So one is called as flat belt drive. So with respect to flat belt drive, you will be having the cross section. The cross section of the flat belt drive is a rectangle. Is a rectangle. So next one is uh, so V belt drive. So in case of V belt drive, the particular drive is having a shape of a trapezoid, shape of a trapezoid. And with respect to the rope drives, so the rope drives are also comes under the category of belt drives only. Say, or that is with respect to the another kind of flexible drive. So rope drives are the circular belt drives. Here the cross section is circular. So in this case, all the three belt drives, they are having their own specific application, such as when the center distance is large and a moderate amount of power is to be transmitted. In that case, flat belt drives are preferred. And with respect to the medium amount of or center distance is very small, or even though the large amount of power is to be transmitted, but there is no possibility of direct contact between the driver and the driven. In that case, V belts are preferred, which is having the trapezoidal cross section, and flat belts are having the circular square cross section or rectangular cross section. And rope drives, they are used whenever the center distance between the driver and driven is very large, more than 10 meters. So selection of belt drive, either flat or V or rope drives, that is depending upon the following factors such as availability of space, service condition, in under what circumstances the drive is to be used, and what is the amount of power that is to be transmitted, small amount of power, moderate amount of power, or large amount of power, speed of the drive, medium or low or high, reduction ratio, and center distance between the shaft. So based upon these particular parameters, the preferred drives are or belt drives are used, say either flat or V belt or rope drives. So there are different kinds of materials that are used for the belt. So the most commonly or oftenly used belt material is leather or bellata. So these are the two different materials. So which you can refer from a data handbook also for the induced stresses. So this is what about the flat belt drive. So which is having a rectangular cross section where the thickness is very small as compared to the width, and the center distance between the driver and driven is more. So here there are two kinds of belt drives that we come across. One is open belt drive and another one is crossed belt drive. So open belt drive, that is to be used whenever the direction of rotation of both the pulleys are in the same direction. That is clockwise driver rotation and anti-clockwise also, anti-clockwise rotation for the clockwise rotation for the driven. And in case of suppose if a driver and a driven, they are to rotate in opposite directions. So in that case, the crossed belt drive, they are preferred. Next comes, there are two important terms that comes in belt drives. One is slip, another one is creep. So creep in belt, creep is related to the variation on the length of the belt. So as we know that in case of open belt drive, if I consider the example of open belt drive, so what happens here, the driver is rotating in one direction, say clockwise, and driven is also following the same direction of rotation. So during this particular rotation, what happens, the lower side of the belt, that is pulled by driver and that is pushed on the upper side towards the driven. So that what happens, due to this pulling action, so the tightening of the belt that takes place, that is expansion of the belt takes place because of that pulling action. And because of this pushing action over the top side, so the contraction of the length of in the belt that takes place. So this results because of the continuous rotation of driver and driven. So that what happens, during the rotation, the expansion of the belt on the tight side and contraction of the belt on the slack side. Lower side is tight side and the upper side is slack side here when the driver is rotating in clockwise direction. So due to this, what happens, there is a alternatively expansion and contraction of the belt that takes place during the lower side and upper side. So this relative movement between the belt and the pulley is called as, or this phenomenon is called as creep in the belt. So slip in the belt, slip in belt, that is also another phenomenon here. So what we are assuming, here there is a proper or firm frictional grip between the belt and pulley, so that the belt is in connection with or in contact with the pulley surface. So what happens, due to the continuous rotation, as the speed is varying with respect to the driver and the driven, and depending upon the power transmitting capacity. So what happens, there is a insufficient frictional grip that is resulted, insufficient frictional grip between the belt and the pulley surface. So that what happens, that belt tends to move without the pulley surface or without contacting pulley surface, and pulley is going to rotate without carrying the belt. So this relative motion, this relative motion between the pulley and belt is called as slip in the belt. So slip is the phenomenon where the belt tends to leave the pulley and pulley tends to rotate without carrying the belt. So this is because of improper frictional grip between the belt as well as pulley surface. So this is called as slip in the belt. Next, velocity ratio, this we know already. That is what the ratio of speed of the driver to the speed of the driven. So this is what written here, ns divided by nl. So ns is speed of the driver, usually that is smaller pulley. Ns indicates the notation for the smaller pulley, and nl is the speed of the larger pulley. There are two pulleys, so there may be of a same diameter or they may be with a different diameters. So and the in the other side, say the other side that carries diameter plus t is thickness. So diameter, capital D indicates larger diameter, that is the diameter of larger pulley plus thickness of the belt. So here we have to consider the thickness of the flat belt into account. So this T may not be considered while dealing with the V belt, but only when dealing with the flat belt we have to consider the thickness. So D plus T divided by small d plus t. This is the diameter of plus thickness of the larger pulley divided by which is driven divided by the diameter of the smaller pulley plus thickness of the belt. So this is what the equation for the velocity ratio. So this may be reversed. Suppose if a larger pulley is the driver and smaller pulley is the driven. In that case, you have to interchange or take the reciprocal of this equation. So the next is we have to derive the equation for belt tension ratios, driving tension ratios. T1 by T2 is equals to E raised to mu theta. E raised to mu theta. So with respect to this, we have to consider a open belt drive itself. Open belt drive itself. Here the larger pulley is to be treated as the driver and the smaller pulley is to be treated as the driven. So with this particular case, so we have to proceed with the derivation part. Say here we have to consider the tight side tension as denoted by means of a notation T1 and slack side tension is denoted by means of a notation T2. The lower side is tight side and the upper side is the slack side here because the driver is rotating in clockwise direction. Hence there is a pulling action at the downside and a pushing action on the upside. So and then theta is the angle of contact or lap angle angle. So this is the angle made by the belt with the pulley when it just leaves the pulley surface. So that particular thing that we can represent here from this point to this point and this point to this point. So the angle made by or the angle subtended by this portion of the belt with the center, then that is what called as angle of lap. So the same thing here also we have to consider it like this. So that angle of lap that may be different for the pulleys, theta L for the larger pulley and theta S for the smaller pulley. So mu is the coefficient of friction here and Rn is the normal reaction and F is the frictional force. So we have to consider one portion of the belt pulley, that is driven pulley is taken into account. So with respect to driven pulley, so the portion of the belt that is considered here as PQ and the particular tensions, they are tight side tension at the lower side and slack side tension at the upper side. So the small portion of the belt that is PQ is considered. So the PQ is the portion of the belt which is intending or subtending an angle of delta theta here, and the tensions they are T, that is slack side tension, and T plus delta T with a tight side tension with respect to this belt PQ. And we have to consider two more parameters, that is a tangential force F or the frictional force that is acting in this particular direction, that is mu into Rn, and another one is normal reaction perpendicular to this tangential force, and T is the slack side tension and T plus delta T be the tight side tension, and the angle made by this particular thing is delta theta. So with respect to this, if I resolve these tensions T plus delta T and T in two directions, say there is vertical direction and horizontal direction, so I will be getting two more forces here. So I have to consider that particular forces for the equilibrium purpose. All these forces in horizontal direction as well as vertical direction, they are equated to 0. So these are the different tensions T at P and T plus delta T at Q. That is the tight side tension, normal reaction Rn, and frictional force F equal to mu into Rn. So resolving the forces in horizontal direction, so that only one force that is there towards right side, that is Rn, and remaining forces, there are two forces, one force is here and another force is this one, that is T into sine of delta theta by 2, that is this particular component, plus T plus delta T into cos of delta theta by 2, sine of delta theta by 2, that is another component. So one component is here, another horizontal component is here. So we have to add all those, so that after simplification, what do you get? So the result is Rn is equal to T into delta theta, because T sine theta, T into sine of delta theta by 2 plus T into sine of delta theta by 2, that is equal to 2 times t into sine of delta theta by 2. So another term is delta t into sine of delta theta by 2. Since sine of delta theta by 2 is very small angle, therefore sine of delta theta by 2 is equal to delta theta by 2. So that 2 gets cancelled here. Only t plus delta theta that remains, and the product of delta t here, delta t into delta theta by 2, that will be 0, because the product of very small quantities is 0. Say this as equation number 1. Rn is equal to t into delta theta. So resolving the forces in vertical direction, so what we get here, so there are how many vertical forces? Just see here, mu, that is mu into Rn is one vertical force. Another vertical force is this one, that is the result component of t plus delta t acting downward. So t plus delta t into cos of delta theta by 2. Another component that is acting vertically upward, t into cos of delta theta by 2. So F, that is mu Rn, is equals to t plus delta t into cos of delta theta by 2 minus t into cos of delta theta by 2. So this is what the equation that you have to write here. The upward forces are written in the LHS and downward force is written in the at the RHS. So after simplification, what I get? Rn is equal to delta t divided by mu. Since the delta theta by 2 value is very small, hence cos of delta theta by 2 is equal to 1. So 1 gets cancelled and only remains the value of delta t by mu. What is mu? Mu is coefficient of friction between the belt and the pulley surface. So the next equating 1 and 2, we will be getting the equation like this and taking log on both side, so that we will be getting the sorry, we have to get the total tension or the overall length. Therefore integrating the particular values, these two equations within the limits, say t2 to t1 is the lower limit and upper limit, and here theta to 0 to theta is the angular contact. So delta t divided by t is to be written as log of t1 by t2. So that is equal to mu into theta. So if you take the anti-log, you will be getting t1 by t2 is equals to e raised to mu into theta, where theta is in radians. So this is what the equation which is called as driving tension ratio. Equation of driving tension ratio. So the next one is design procedure. So for the design procedure, these are all the notations. These are all the notations. Say small d is diameter of the pulley, ns is speed of the smaller pulley, capital D is larger diameter, that is larger pulley diameter, and then NL is the speed of the larger pulley, C is the center distance, B is width of the belt, T is the thickness of the belt, L is length of the belt, G is acceleration due to gravity, mu is coefficient of friction, W small w omega, that is specific weight, sigma D is this is sigma D, allowable static stress of the material used for the belt, sigma C is centrifugal stress, V is velocity of the belt, pi dn by 60 into 1000, theta is the angle made by angle of contact, theta s and theta l are the angle of contact for smaller pulley and larger pulley, T1 and T2 are the tight side and slack side tensions, Tc is the centrifugal tension, T0 is the initial tension. So then we have to go for the very first step, unknown diameters or the speed that we have to calculate by using the speed ratio expression. Either it may be flat belt or V belt. Next step, we have to go for the calculation of velocity V. So either we have to calculate unknown diameter here or we have to calculate velocity, whichever be the known value, find out the unknown value, either diameter or velocity. Next, centrifugal tension, omega, that is omega b into t into v square divided by 10 raised to 6 into g. Say this is equation number 14.3a, page number 290 of your data handbook. And then capacity of the belt or the drive that we have to calculate. Capacity is given by the equation or the particular notation, that is e raised to mu s into theta s or e raised to mu l into theta l. So which is also called as tension ratio. So the value what you get the smaller value out of this or this, so is to be considered for the design or the capacity. Smaller value is to be treated as the capacity. Suppose if coefficient of friction mu is same for both the pulleys, then we have to find only e raised to mu s theta s, as this is the smaller value than the e raised to mu l theta l. Next, theta s you have to calculate and theta l you have to calculate. So theta s is given by pi minus t minus d divided by c, equation number 14.1a, page number 289. Similarly, theta L, that is the angle of contact for the larger pulley. Refer page number 289 of data handbook, equation number 14.1b. Next, for cross belt, there is only one theta. The theta S and theta L both are equal. So equation number 14.2a, page number 289. Next, to go for the width of belt calculation. So by using a power transmitted equation, power transmitted P, so this is what the equation, B into T, they are the dimensions, cross sections of the belt. V is velocity, sigma D is the stress in the material, omega and V square. Omega is the specific weight, V is the velocity, e raised to mu theta minus 1 divided by e raised to mu theta is the constant that you have to calculate separately and substitute here. So this is page number 9, available in page number 291 of data handbook, equation number 14.5a. So by using this equation with the known power, you have to calculate B or B and T both together, right? So this is with respect to the calculation of cross section. Next, you have to go for the calculation of length of belt. So by using equation 14.2b, page number 290. So here C is the center distance. Center distance is given by capital D plus D, and the particular equation is there. So by using that equation, you have to get the value. So now C is known here. So C value that you have to substitute, larger diameter and a smaller pulley diameter and a center distance. This gives the equation of L, and calculate L. And after this, if it is with respect to open belt or crossed belt, so there are two kind of conditions. See that which belt is given, based upon that you have to calculate the length of the belt. So relation between the driving tensions, say T1 by T2 equal to e raised to mu theta, what we have derived. Since centrifugal tension that is also acting here, it is one of the important parameter. So with respect to that, we have to consider the that centrifugal tension also. So if you consider centrifugal tension, so then Tc is what? Centrifugal tension. So where this is the effect because of the centrifugal force, as the particular belt is continuously rotating over the pulley, so that tends to move away from the pulley surface, where because of the centripetal acceleration that is developed. So because of that, there is some tension that is induced in the belt, which is called as centrifugal tension. So by using that equation, say 14.3c, page number 290, you have to calculate the value of e raised to mu theta. So TC equation that is already given here. So that is available in equation number 14.3b. So just refer it and get that equation value, and also you have to substitute this equation to get the unknown parameters. And then initial tension is T naught. So this is the last step that you have to carry out. So is it followed? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Shall I proceed? So there are two problems that we have to discuss. So these two problems, one problem is solved on flat belt, another problem is solved on V belt case. Shall I take the procedure?
Sir.
Huh? Please reply.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, take.
Okay. See, this is what the procedure that is discussed here. So you should not consider this as the granted, or they say this is the standard procedure. say these are the steps that you have to carry out the particular calculations related to flat belt or V belt. That is the first category. So in this case, diameter, unknown diameters that we have to calculate, or velocity that we have to calculate, centrifugal tension that we have to calculate, and after that you have to go for theta s or theta l calculation, and then the unknown parameters. Say dimensions may be asked or power may be asked. So based upon that particular condition, you have to calculate the required one. Length, if it is optional, it may be asked, it may not be asked. And then initial tension. To calculate initial tension, you have to use this equation. So T1 and T2 both that you have to calculate. Yes. Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the disturbance? Some disturbance I am hearing. Okay. So let us proceed with the next part now. Say a problem. So here I have taken one of the problem that is on belt drive. So belt drive. So here the belt is made of a leather belt. So this is asked in one of the previous question paper, that is June 18. So leather belt, it is used to drive for a drive to transmit a 15 kilowatt of power with the help of a flat belt made of leather. And it is made of leather, and the mass density for this is given here as 0.95 grams per cc. The center distance is the twice of the diameter of the larger pulley, that is given twice the diameter of the bigger pulley, that is 2 times capital D, equal to C. And 1440 rpm is the rpm of smaller pulley, and 480 rpm is the rpm of larger pulley. So the approximate velocity that is given here as 20 meter per second. Stress induced in the belt material is 2.25 Newton per mm square. This is what the static stress. The COF, coefficient of friction between the belt and the pulley surface, is 0.35. So this is only one value given here. Say you may get two different values, mu s and mu l, smaller pulley and for larger pulley. But here the value of mu is same for smaller and larger pulley respectively. Thickness of the belt is given as 5 mm. The diameter of the pulleys that you have to determine, length of the belt as well as width of the belt also you have to determine, and belt tensions that you have to calculate. So these three things are asked here, means it is as good as you have to follow all the steps which are discussed in the design procedure. So therefore, first of all, you have to note down the given information. Power P is given as 15 kilowatt. Rho density that is given as 0.95 grams per cc. So grams to kg that you have to convert. So 10 raised to minus 3 is multiplied. So kg per cc, centimeter cube, that you get here. Center distance is 2 times the larger diameter. NS, smaller pulley speed, is 1440 rpm. Larger pulley speed is 480 rpm. And velocity is 20 meter per second, and allowable static stress is 2.25 Newton per mm square. So coefficient of friction for larger pulley and smaller pulley is same, 0.35, and T, thickness of the belt, is 5 mm. So specific gravity or specific weight that we have to, specific weight or weight density that we have to calculate here. So that is what the product of rho and g, mass density multiplied by acceleration due to gravity. So here 0.95 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 3 is gram kg per cc now. So cubic centimeter is to be converted into meter cube. So again we have to multiply this equation by 10 raised to 6 to convert centimeter cube into cubic meter. So therefore the value of rho, what you get in terms of kg per meter cube, as 950 kg per meter cube after simplification. So this is what the specific weight, rho into g, 950 multiplied by,
So not able to hear is
not able to hear. Hello.
now audible, sir. Hello, sir.
But what about
Yeah.
screen? Is it visible or not?
No, sir. That is not visible, sir.
Okay, I think